Joining us today on the Shutter Spire Industry Magazine podcast is MacKenzie, a great friend of mine and a very trusted colleague. She's done a lot of work for our brand. MacKenzie, would you introduce yourself and explain a little bit about the things that you do as a professional brand specialist?
Thank you so much, Tommy. I'm so happy to be here today. My name is MacKenzie. I am the owner of Utah Brand Design. I have been helping businesses get started in Utah for the last 10 years. And I'm so excited that I get to share some information about branding today because I think there's a lot of things that people don't know about it.
Well, and it's nondescript. It's like it covers everything. And so, what does it mean? I think a lot of people are almost immediately, it's like two feelings when you hear the word. At first, you're impressed and confused at the same time.
At the same
So,
time.
let's definitely lean into dispelling myths and uncovering the truth about branding and why it matters so much. I mean, just for my part, I can say it's made so much of a difference for me to have your help.
You look so confident online. I just
Yeah?
love, oh yeah, I have just loved seeing Tommy grow over the last 2 years. And the Shutter Spire brand is beautiful.
Well, that's all your fault, Mackenzie. Thank you. See, this is a genius right here. So let's all listen and learn to, let's all listen and learn what Mackenzie has to say.
Okay. I would love to start by simply explaining what branding is and what's not. There's a lot of misconception around this. Branding does include a logo, but it's not only a logo. A logo is only a facet of a brand, a trademark, an icon that you become recognized for. But there's so much meaning and I would say intention that goes into branding beyond logos.
Well, I mean, I think about brands like Target or Apple, and it's not a logo, it's like an experience. Apple has its own fonts.
Mhm.
They have their own rules about how those fonts should be used in design. They have their own colors, their own color schemes. They have the way that they place things in in spaces, like in three-dimensional space, the way they arrange things in order to create an Apple feeling. And they've thought about it because obviously they've more than thought about it. Forgive me for my ignorance on this, but I think that I once heard that the same part of the brain that responds to religion responds to the Apple brand when they're doing brain scans on customers.
Oh, yeah.
There's a primal response because they've done the study into, okay, well, what kind of colors are going to make people feel a certain way, right?
Mhm.
And they've engineered all of it. What does that have to do with branding from your perspective?
Oh, yeah.
Am I off base here?
No, and branding is really about the intention behind the emotions and the experience you want to, convey for someone. So, really, when we're looking at creating a brand, that brand is like a person. We assign a personality and even a name to the individual, and we give it attributes for how we want it to sound, how we want it to feel or come across. I recently did a branding workshop out in Wyoming for a whole county. They were working on their tourism and how they can get all these cities on the same page. And they were really amazed that as a city or as a county, we were coming together and deciding what is the personality of the entire county? What's the name? What are they like? How do they sound? How do they talk?
Well, and I think just looking back at my own reactions to this information and my own kind of personal evolution in understanding better the importance of branding and the definition. At first, I was skeptical. Years ago, I was skeptical, and then I started to see the success of businesses that had done a rebrand. So, we're here in Utah today. There's a really popular gas station chain called Maverick for folks who don't live in Utah. And years ago, they were struggling really badly, I'm
Oh,
told.
yeah.
Really badly. So they brought in a specialist who gave it a complete facelift. So when you go to Maverick today, it's about adventure and being outside and doing epic stuff. It's almost got a Red Bull feeling.
Yeah.
That resulted in a complete turnaround and an economic explosion for the gas station chain. It's a huge win, and I look at that and I think, there's something to this. In my own in my own work to help build the ShutterSpire brand that you've been so instrumental in helping us to craft, I learned something. I'm going to say something. You're like, good boy, you were paying attention.
Let's hear
I
it.
learned that brands, like you said, have a persona. They have a voice. So the consistency of the way a brand looks and sounds, I start to see that come through when I have people send me a message online and they say, I saw one of your photos and I knew it was you, or I saw some video and I knew it was you, or I saw an event covered, or I saw a podcast, I knew it was you before I even saw your face
Oh yeah.
because of the way that it made me feel.
Oh yeah, your stuff is so distinct too. And I think everyone can see, even on this background here, just how much of Tommy as a person is in his brand. So that's kind of the interesting thing too, is like, does your brand take on your personality, or a personality you would like to be like, or an entirely different, if it's a group, whose personality is that brand taking on? And really it's just crafting how we want, like you were saying, we want the brand to sound. Branding is really multiple facets. So you have messaging, so your tagline, your brand positioning statement, which is also kind of like a mission statement, an elevator pitch even. And then beyond that, you also have the visuals of branding. So you have the logo, the color palette, the typography, the symbolism, the metals you use in your business. Some people don't even think
Wow.
about, some people don't even think about, like, okay, what type of chandelier are we going to put in our establishment? What color finish of metal is on our faucets in our bathrooms? Like, it encompasses every touch point a consumer has with your business.
So fascinating. So fascinating, so impactful, and I can't deny the results that I've seen, not just in my own work, which are undeniable and like first person experiences, but also just looking all around me at the successes that businesses have, large and small, by getting involved with a brand consultant. Now, leading up to this podcast, we had some hallway conversation, and you made a really fascinating point that the PR is, well, the branding is sort of soft PR, that it's always doing PR work for you, even when you're asleep.
Always.
But you said something really impactful, I think. You said branding isn't something you should do alone. So let's dig into that why, because I think a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of people out there who are just trying to work on a dream, they want to succeed on a tiny budget, and so they're trying to do a lot of stuff by themselves. I know why it was a great idea to hire Utah Brand Design, but for those who don't understand why is hiring a brand consultant so important? Not just for the purpose of getting your brand off the ground, but why shouldn't you do it alone?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So everyone is going to form an assumption about who you are, what you do, how you do it, why you do it. Branding essentially creates the narrative. You're establishing to the rest of the world who you are, what you want to be known for, how you want people to feel. And all those things are very important, because you can either let the world make those decisions for you, or you can pursue branding and make those decisions for the rest of the world of how you show up.
So that's an important dichotomy. That's an important thing. Let's say that one more time for the people in the back. One more time.
Yeah.
That was a big point.
The world is going to create a narrative around who you are, what you do, how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can either let the world define who you are, or you can define it for the rest of the world.
Super important.
Super important.
Now, if I may, I think it's just human nature that there's some parts of us that we don't see. Human behavioral analysis or analysts will create a quadrant and say, in this part of the quadrant, you have the things that you know about you. And over here, you have the things that others know about you that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the most interesting quadrant is the quadrant of the things that others know about you that you don't know about you, aka your blind spot.
Everyone has one.
Without having MacKenzie take a look at my blind spot, there were things in my business that I didn't know were, how do I say this? not great. And things about the way that I was conducting business that were kind of shooting myself in the foot. Some of it was just one of the first bits of feedback that MacKenzie had for me was like, "What do you mean you don't have a Google business profile, Tommy? Do you even know what year it is?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm busy, and the phone rings and word of mouth and whatnot."
Hmm.
There was no way to grow beyond the deficit that was creating, just that alone. And so you coming in and looking at my blind spots as a business helped me to see the places that I needed to grow. And dang it if we don't need to have a few more talks.
Hmm.
Because it's been a while since you first came in and got my brand off the ground, and you've seen what's happened this last year. It's time for a refresh.
Oh yeah,
Need a new website. like since
you've
since
grown.
we like since you provided
Hmm.
me, okay, branding includes web presence.
Everything.
MacKenzie provided that for me. Top shelf stuff. But since we launched, there's a lot more that we do.
You have different
That was a
needs.
local thing.
Hmm.
Now we're a global brand.
Yeah.
Truly, global international brand. That was a few specific services. Now we do more. We're a magazine now. That wasn't there before.
No.
We're a podcast, and those things are kind of bolted on to the website now because I just kind of went. We need to reimagine that. But case in point, having somebody who looks at you and says, my expert opinion is this based on the things that you don't know about you.
Hmm.
How valuable is that?
Oh, so valuable. Everyone should have feedback on the stuff they create for their business. You wouldn't believe how many people don't even have feedback on their own Instagram captions, you know?
Yeah, that's a pain point because I see businesses, both local and international, where you look at what they do and you feel secondhand embarrassment for
Hmm.
them. Because, like that was a photographer once heard a wise photographer say how many times they're looking at things and they said that was so near to a good photo.
Oh, yeah.
And how many times do you see a, a post on someone's account where you think that was so near to an impactful message? They could have just done this and this, and then it would have really gotten so much better engagement.
Oh, yeah.
It would have really set it a cut above in terms of its professionalism. I see a lot of businesses kind of shooting themselves in the foot because after the things that you've helped me learn, even just at baby level, um, I see a lot of the mistakes that I was making. Just everybody makes them.
Well, it's really nice to have a collaborative partner that you can, even as a solo entrepreneur, having someone, whether it's, working with a specialist like me or even working with your favorite marketing best friend from high school, someone who at least has some aptitude for design and how things feel. Like having people around you that you can bounce your ideas off of creatively and who can give you honest feedback is so valuable. Of course, I recommend working with someone like me, but
I recommend working with MacKenzie. Make no mistake, the services that she provides goes beyond. And don't let me speak for you. You do so much good stuff. And it's not just the branding. I'm excited and I want to tell them, but please
yeah.
talk about the other things that you do outside of just your brand consultancy and the way that you're helping women win.
Oh, thank you. So I love working with individuals who are trying to increase their quality of life, maybe leave jobs that are no longer serving them, being able to be better mothers because they can create and have a business that works with motherhood. Sometimes jobs don't really do that for us. So I really love I work with men and women, but I really love working with a lot of women because I'm able to usually help them increase their quality of life and, live their dreams.
Well, you're speaking to the one-on-one aspect of the services that you provide to women, but it goes beyond that as
Yeah.
well. MacKenzie is actively involved in building community. She hosts free events.
Yeah. Okay.
Women in business, right? I just get goosebumps thinking, like literally,
Yeah.
thinking about the way that you're helping to lift other women.
Thank you.
Man, that's just so powerful.
Community is everything, truly. I have a group of women. We meet every other week for dinner, and we are able to provide community accountability and support, helping us solve each other's problems enjoying a nice meal together, and just being with other like-minded women is so encouraging. I always feel so motivated after, and that's the event I facilitate, to just offer a little bit of free business coaching to women in the area that may not be ready to pay for like a business coach or work with someone like me.
Well, a space that you've created that's safe by women, for women, helping women to win in business with all of the experience that you command. This is something that you should get involved in. Men, this is something you should support. Women, this is something you should plug into. Mackenzie's experience is both wide and deep. I love to see the impact that you're making in building community, and I like to also see the successes that the wins that you're having over at the Logan Art Gallery. And we're going to talk more about the Logan Art Gallery here. We're going to have Tanner from the Logan Art Gallery, who's its proprietor and owner. But Mackenzie's gotten plugged in with the Logan Art Gallery, Logan, Utah, and doing really amazing stuff there. You've helped them with their branding.
Oh
You've
yeah,
helped them with their events, and
that place is my baby.
but not just their events. You've transformed that into a hub for community. You've got
It's a third
influencers,
space.
local and statewide, talking about the Logan Art Gallery, and it's what you have done.
Thank you.
It's so cool.
Yeah, no, seriously, me and Tanner together have been like the absolute dream team. And the fact that I get to work on mural projects now, also as another installation of my business, branded mural designs that fit your colors, your vibe as a business. We put your logo on them a lot of time. That's also really super useful to have as a business offering for my clients.
Amazing. So let's paint a picture for the people who are watching about what it would be like to engage with Mackenzie. So if they wanted to hire you for their services, what do those engagements look like?
Sure. So I actually started out as a business service, just doing logos, just doing websites, individual things. I really like to nurture a client and work with them long term. My favorite clients are to get like the beginning of their business journey, but even, ones who've been in the game for 10, 20 years. I love helping with rebrands and whatnot. I have two main offerings.
Yes, please.
I have two main offerings. The first is, branding workshops, working one-on-one with someone for a few hours and just taking all the work they've done thus far, or, maybe 10, 20 years down the road, and tidying all of it, getting cohesive, and then giving them a game plan. Okay, here is your branding guide. This is where I need you to go implement and make all the changes. The other offering I have is what I call the weekly power hour. And I meet my clients every week for 1 hour, and I work on anything they need with them for an hour, which is so great.
You're so plugged in. You're so invested in helping other people to
Yeah,
win.
no, it's passion. It's absolutely passion for me. And it's really wonderful to help people grow their business week by week and help them get the things off their plate that are most pressing, that they enjoy the least a lot of times too. So we could be making website changes together, or working on social media, or literally anything else. I've started like dozens of businesses in Utah, so I have all the skill sets needed to help people get off the ground with confidence.
Yeah, even like, hey, let me get you connected to a financial planner or
I
a
have them.
tax, getting people right with their taxes, making sure that that doesn't become an issue. I love how you just help businesses to go to win. How can people find you if they want to book your services? How can they reach you?
I do all my consultations for free at utahbranddesign.com. I'm also on Instagram, but ironically, I don't do a lot on Instagram because I'm usually helping everyone else's social media account. So that's one thing I'd like to change this year, is just be more active online with people. And I live in Logan, Utah, so I usually do a lot of consultations in person, or we do them online over Google Meet, phone call. I'm really flexible. I like to meet people where they're at, whether that's budget or, what they need for their business or where they're physically at. I'm very much so a collaborator in the business space.
I remember when we got started, don't don't beat me. Don't be really honest about how uncooperative I was at the beginning, because
A
it
little bit.
wasn't. But you helped me, and the price point for getting your help was so attractive. I couldn't say no. I couldn't say no. And then when I started to get a taste of what you were doing, I've referred you to like 50, 11 people. right? A lot of people I'm sending to you say, go get her to take care of your website. Go get her to plan your photo shoot production, your pamphlet materials, your business cards, your everything. Sending people to you. Because of the profound difference that it's made for me. I want people to understand the importance of branding when you're trying to do anything at all involving a web presence. You need branding. I mean, gone are the days when it was just a matter of putting something in the yellow pages. That just doesn't exist anymore. You've got to be present online. That's where your customers are. That's where the generation is that has money. A lot of the success that I've had in my business has come down to the fact that web presence, social media presence, the website, all of these different channels through which people engage with my business, my brand, my voice, my services, it's polished, it's professional, it's cohesive, and that's an evolving thing. Like we're about to talk about taking it to the next level.
Next level.
But it's got to be something that you invest in, not just time, not just money, but emotionally even. You need to care about your online presence. I would say it even matters if you don't have a business and you're just on LinkedIn. And I don't want to say just on LinkedIn. Let's say you're a professional. You got your MBA. You're in the finance industry or you're in IT. And you need you need branding.
Oh, yeah. No, and I can help people with resumes and making sure they look amazing on all their social media platforms because, I mean, it's not just LinkedIn. Like, employers will look you up on Instagram, Facebook nowadays. They want to see who you are outside of work, right or wrong. We have some debate about that, but they do, you know?
No, it's true. I remember years ago when my adults children were babies, I got a phone call from a recruiter who congratulated me on the birth of my child, and I felt like it was a line crossed because I'm like, see, that was my Facebook. I didn't. Oh, but it was a public post. The internet was brand new. We didn't know.
We didn't know.
What was what was going on,
Yeah.
and I don't think people even understood about boundaries. But yes, you need to know that even as a business professional who may not be running a business of your own, maybe you're working in corporate America, you're climbing that ladder, you're looking for your managing director position at a big firm, that's something that requires branding.
Anything you want to do requires branding, whether you want to start a podcast or a magazine or start a brand new business, or a bookstore, anything you want to do, branding is going to help you do it. It's going to help you make decisions from the get-go. And this is what I was telling him earlier, actually, about intention setting. I find branding is also equivalent to intention setting. So I believe that when you set intentions, the universe rewards that and is able to help push you forward because you've made decisions about who you are, what you're doing, and how you're going to do it.
Well, folks who know me or who've been paying attention in any way, they know I'm a photographer first. In terms of all of my online presence, the photography is my first love. It's where I come from, and it's where I come back at the end of all of it. The podcast is fun, but book a photo shoot.
Oh, yeah.
The magazine's awesome, but let's go do a production in Vegas. Like, let's work. The photography thing, I learned really quickly that you're going to do a lot better when you approach your photography with a plan, as opposed to a wish. A lot of beginners will think they can just walk out the door with a camera, and because they're so talented, they're going to take ridiculously good pictures. They're like, I can take a good picture of litter in the gutter, because I'm that good. I think, you get that camera in your hands for the first time, you're like, my landscapes are just going to be the best. My baby photos, my wedding photos, it's just going to be the best. You got no plan. You have a camera, but no plan. You have a wish, you have confidence, but you don't have a plan. Intention changes all of that. Intention in photography is the differentiator, forgive me.
Sets you apart.
Immediately.
Yeah.
immediately. Having a plan. So when I work with people as a photographer, I'll get on the phone with them and I'll say, thanks for the booking. I just noticed you booked me. Congratulations. It's going to be awesome. But it's going to be even more awesome if we have a plan. So let's set up a Zoom call and chat this week about how we want that photo shoot to go. And we get in and we figure out the client's goals and their needs, and then we form a plan.
Oh, yeah.
And there's intention. There's a shot plan. And I'm like, okay, now your homework is, now that we have a plan, you go and we build a vision board together of the way that your photo shoot should look, how it should be styled, the theme. You know, are we going to do this with alligators? Are we going to ride horses? What is the theme? You know, what's the message? What's the story that we're telling? And,
It is. It's
and then,
storytelling,
like,
what you do.
how should the shots look? And what should be the look and feel of the shots when they're edited? Should it be warm? Should it be cold and harsh? Should it be soft and gentle lighting? Should it be bold?
Tommy does branding. That's what he wants you to know. He does branding and photography.
Having intention in what you do immediately differentiates you in terms of the quality that you can provide back to the client in terms of their experience working with you.
Tailored
like they're
to
gonna
them.
yes, they're going to be happy or not based on the intention with which you approach the project, and then the product, the outcome. All this, the outcome will be much more pleasing when there was intention. You look at a photo, a lot of people look at photos and they're like, the thing that made that photo good was the lighting. The thing that made that photo good was the talented subject, the model, their posing, or the thing that made it good was the colors that were chosen, or the thing that made it great was the makeup artistry. Stop. The thing that made it great was intention. Was intention every time. The plan, the intention behind what you were doing, the forethought.
And you go out and you create it.
Because it's almost like it needs to live in spirit before it lives in actuality. You know, branding is like the spirit that goes into your work. It's the lifeblood of your work. It's the story.
Oh, yeah. Branding actually said this today. I had an interview for a local newspaper for a mural we're doing, and it's a historical mural. And then we also have another mural right next door that we're doing, which is more of like a branded mural, right? It matches the city's colors. It's got its tagline. It's really cute. And, you know, murals, like branded murals especially, we're honoring the history, but we're also, with branding, we are honoring the future, you know, what that town, who they want to be known as. And branding is really just looking forward. How do we want to be known? Where do we want to be in 5-10 years? It's goal setting, it's intention setting.
Love that. Love that.
And I was going to say, you know, some people ask me, like, do you like all the brands that you create for people? And the answer is no. Sometimes they're not to my taste or my aesthetic because they're not for me. You know, sometimes they're for a different type of client that, you know, we're designing a brand to capture. But I do find that no matter what, as long as you're consistent, you put the same colors, the same logo, the same backgrounds, the same messaging on everything, your social media, your Google business listing, your website, your flyers, your business card, as long as everything's the same, it looks intentional. And when something appears intentional, it looks professional. So even if you're not feeling 100% confident in your branding, which you could obviously work with someone like me, as long as you make it cohesive across all platforms and facets of your business, you're going to be doing pretty good. And people are going to think it's intentional. So that's what really matters.
That brings up a thought for me, almost philosophical in nature. It's about trust. See, it's an understanding long held by the business world that trust is the real currency of business. And without trust, business really is frustrated. It's very difficult to do business without trust. People trust you when you're honest and consistent.
Consistent.
You know, that consistency in your brand voice, even when it's something as simple as consistently using the same fonts and colors, it starts to develop a personality in the mind of the people who are looking at it that they can rely upon. There's comfort and safety in the reliability that they feel around your message when it is consistent, and that reliability and that consistency engenders trust. That trust makes business flow a lot with a lot less frustration.
You know what branding communicates to the consumer? Branding communicates, take me seriously because I am serious about what I do. I've put so much love and attention into what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, that the consumer should too.
Very profound.
Yeah.
Very profound. I think one parting thought that I would have for my listeners about branding is that I would invite you to challenge your own notion about what's beautiful. I'm not talking about beauty standards.
Mhm.
I'm talking about letting someone else say, what's a pretty logo? Letting somebody else say, what's a pretty post for your social media? Letting someone else who's really experienced with a proven track record come in and say, your business looks really good in this branding. With this branding, colors, fonts, logos, your web presence, your brand voice, the persona, the cheerful or the mournful or the edgy, whatever your brand voice might be. But having a trusted professional come in and say, I see what you're trying to do, but this is going to work better. It's hard to let go of control and say, I'm going to trust somebody else with this.
Yeah.
The challenge again that I have for my listeners is to let that happen. To let
Be open-minded.
MacKenzie come in and tell you what's broken. And it's hard. It's hard to take that feedback. It's hard to take that feedback that, man, our social media, we've got it. We've got to let go of the reins. We need to bring in a professional. Or it's hard to take the feedback that we might be doing something less than optimal. But man, what a transformative experience it is to start making measurable progress because you put your branding in the hands of somebody who really knows what they're doing. Now, the hardest part of all is going to be for Tommy to take his own advice.
He has to let it cook for a little bit. I've noticed. You
I'm a
drop
slow
it and
cooker.
let it resonate with him, and once he's there, he's there.
Yeah,
But
we get there.
can
We
I
get there.
can I share what
Please.
working with me is like?
Please.
Okay, awesome. So I'll give you the example. I have a new client that I'm going to be working with this week, and we had a lovely phone conversation. They are like a women's health clinic in Utah County, and they've just been doing everything the best they can in-house, and they're ready to have someone take a look at stuff because they're not like seeing the growth that they want online. And so one of the things I had them do is, I don't know anything about this business. The only thing I'm starting with is a keyword phrase that they would hope they'd pull up on Google for. I know the business name and then the keyword phrase. And so every business I work with, if they're not brand new, they have something online, we start with the brand audit, and I go through and I try to see how visible you are. Where do you pull up? Are you on Google Maps? Are you under the keywords that you would hope to be, found under? Can I find you on Instagram easily? I really try to go hunting and see, as an organic consumer, what can I find about you online?
And what can we find? And can I find you?
Can I find you? And once I do find you, if I do, what do you look like? What's my first impression? So I start with an audit of your business, and I'm going to go through and really do a thorough job at figuring out where you are listed, if you're visible, and how you're showing up. Like, how are your Google reviews? Do you have Google reviews? I will read them, which is kind of fun. And then from there, yeah, we've got actually a lot of really good ones for your business. Yeah. So, and then beyond there, we're just going to really find opportunities. I don't think anything's a problem. Everything is an opportunity. So we're going to figure out all the opportunities we have to improve your branding, tidy it, or do a full rebrand. And from there, I'm going to make a bunch of recommendations that will help you, genuinely help you. And as many of those things as I can do, I will teach you how to do them, because I really like empowering people. So I don't really love getting locked into, social media contracts where I'm doing someone's social media for 6 months. I would rather teach your person in-house, or teach you how to do social media better, how to show it better online. So I love to teach people, and I love finding opportunities, and I'll give you a whole list of easy swaps, things that we can do now that you'll see an immediate change with, so you become more visible and you look more professional online.
Such a great episode, and I haven't even produced it yet. I'm just so happy that MacKenzie would come on here and share some of the incredible insights that she has. MacKenzie is a business transformer. She is a change maker. She gets things moving. So can't recommend MacKenzie's service enough. Utah Brand Design. Check them out on Instagram. Check them out on Google, and give MacKenzie a call.
I would love to meet you, love to help you. And really, my passion is whatever your passion is.
Thanks again, MacKenzie.